Alright, after this I have one more beer and I might do one more video. I don't know, we'll see. But, yeah, no, I don't know, I just can't keep going. I want to get healthier and start doing my stories. And rather than sitting here, like I can just read this on my own and not have to pause every 2 seconds to try to teach you all how to read. Um, but, anyways, and I could totally be wrong in it. Anything or all of them, what I'm saying. Let's talk. Um, but damn, yeah, no, this process is just very tiring. But one of the things I like this Ezra guy though. Or whoever's writing this, because like you can really see the different personalities of all the different characters in the Torah. Like with Moses, I would describe him as just this, hard ass, kick ass man. Like this is a man that likes to punch other men in the face and wrestle them down and subdue them. Um, he's that's the type of man he is. I would describe Samuel as like a metrosexual, like who would totally be at home in San Francisco. He would be pretty popular there, I think. He was a gentle man, is what I'm saying. He was very gentle man, gentle soul. Um, I love what's the next guy after Samuel? The guy who went up into the chariot, right? That guy, he's like, oh, and once I get to him, that'll be fun, because he's got a personality that's different from all four of these guys. But this guy right here is he's just like drama. Oh my God, he's very similar to Enoch, whoever wrote that book of everything. Um, because yeah, they're both just like super fucking dramatic. Oh my God. um, but it's fun. He's a really good writer. This guy is a really good writer. Um, and I could definitely be wrong about anything that I'm saying, especially if this is like a bad translation. Like, oh my God, like one word the wrong way could uh, be bad. I replied and said, "O earth, what have you brought forth? If the mind is made out of the dust like the other created things, for it would have been better if the dust itself had not been born, so that the mind might not have been made from it. But now the mind grows with us, and therefore we are tormented because we perish and know it." Right? Like, that's a pretty good line. We perish and know it. "Let the human race lament, but let the beasts of the field be glad. Let all who have been born lament, but let the four-footed beasts and the flocks rejoice. For it is much better with them than with us. For they do not look for a judgment, nor do they know of any torment or salvation promised to them after death. For what does it profit us that we shall be preserved alive but cruelly tormented? For all who have been born are involved in iniquities and are full of sins and burdens with transgressions. And if we were not to come into judgment after death, perhaps it would have been better for us." All right. So yeah, I mean, this right here, I think again is a total criticism of the Phoenician ways and the Canaanite ways and the ways of the people who are surrounding them. Because again, he talks about, what does it profit us that we shall be there, that we're alive, but we are cruelly tormented, right? I mean, I think everybody would describe their lives with this line. Everyone on this planet is alive, but they're being cruelly tormented. And it's like, what profit are you guys getting? You know, from this total sacrifice. He's criticizing this total sacrifice because this total sacrifice is built upon shame and judgment, right? And that's how it's that is how it's built. And what does he say? He says that they do not look for a judgment, right? Like the ways of the animals is much better because they do not look for a judgment, nor do they know of any torment. You know, they don't wake up every morning and sigh, another day, and salvation promised to them after death. Like they don't need to look to salvation promised to them after death because this life is abundant and the now. Right. Again, this guy constantly goes back to this now, like Uguay saying that the present is a gift. Right. I think he's saying a lot of the same things. But we can't enjoy the present moment, right? Because we're burdened. We are burdened and tormented, and we are judged. Now, one of the things that I think you guys can help me with, because I read this paragraph before we started. I haven't read any of the thing else, but this last sentence I just do not get. And if we were to come into judgment after death, perhaps it would have been better for us. So it would have been better that we were not to come into judgment. I mean, I understand this salvation promised to them after death. Like, again, he's talking about purity and doing things for their own sake, I think. But what is this line saying? I don't know. If I can get any help out there. Let's see. He answered me and said, when the Most High made the world and Adam and all who have come from him, he first prepared the judgment and the things that pertain to the judgment. And now understand from your own words, for you have said that the mind grows with us. For this reason, therefore, those who dwell on earth shall be tormented, because though they had understanding, they had committed iniquity. And though they received the commandments, they did not keep them. And though they obtained the law, they dealt unfaithfully with what they received. What then will they have to say in the judgment, or how will they answer in the last times? For how long the time is that the Most High has been patient with those who inhabit the world, and not for their sake, but because of the times which he has foreordained. All right. So I think, I don't know, like, what do you guys think? It seems that for this reason, therefore, those who dwell on the earth shall be tormented, because they had understanding. Because though they had understanding, they committed iniquity, right? Though they had understanding, they committed iniquity. I mean, I think he's basically saying that I think he's talking about conscience here. Like, we all have a conscience. And our conscience informs us what is the right way. I mean, in the Book of Everything, he talks about this different spirits and how sometimes the spirits compel you. And it's like these different spirits are different needs or drives we have in our life. And sometimes, we have a need and drive for friends, or sometimes we have a need and drive for just silence or just developing ourselves, two different things. I mean, a need or drive for friends and community and and work. And he talks about the drive compelling you, the spirit compelling you. And I think that's where a lot of emptiness and sadness comes in, because we're all compelled towards this whole holiness that these books are speaking of. But we are not holy. We are extreme. We're living these lives of sacrificial extremity, right? Um, so it does seem like he's talking about conscience. And though they received the commandments, they did not keep them, right? Um, I mean, yeah, no. And I answered and I said, if I have found favor in thy sight, O Lord, show this also to thy servant, whether after death, as soon as every one of us yields up his soul, we shall be kept in rest until those times come when thou wilt renew the creation, or whether we shall be tormented at once. He answered me and said, I will show you that also, but do not be associated with those who have shown scorn, nor number yourselves among those who are tormented. For you have a treasure of works laid up with the Most High, but it will not be shown to you until the last times. Now concerning death, the teaching is, when the decisive decree has gone forth from the Most High that a man shall die as the spirit leaves the body to return again to him who gave it, first of all it adores the glory of the Most High. And if it is one of those who have shown scorn and have not kept the ways of the Most High, who have despised his law, and who have hated those who fear God, such spirits shall not enter into habitations, but shall immediately wander about in torments, ever grieving and sad in 7 ways. The first way, because they have scorned the law of the Most High. The second way, because they cannot now make a good repentance, that they may live. The third way, they shall see the reward laid up for those who have trusted the covenants of the Most High. The fourth way, they shall consider the torment laid up for themselves in the last day. The fifth way, they shall see how the habitations of the others are guarded by angels in profound quiet. The sixth way, they shall see how some of them will pass over into torments. Seventh way, which is worse than all the ways that have been mentioned, because they shall utterly waste away in confusion and be consumed with shame, and shall wither with fear at seeing the glory of the Most High, before whom they have sinned while they were alive, and before whom they are to be judged in the last times. Now this is the order of those who have kept the ways of the Most High, when they shall be separated from their mortal bodies. During the time that they lived in it, they laboriously served the Most High, withstood danger every hour, that they might keep the law of the lawgiver perfectly. Therefore, this is the teaching concerning them. First of all, they shall see with great joy the glory of him who receives them, for they shall have rest in 7 orders. Okay. The first order, because they have striven with great effort to overcome the evil thought which was formed with them, that it might not lead them astray from life into death. Second order, because they see the perplexity in which the souls of the ungodly wander, and the punishment that awaits them. The third order, they see the witness which he who formed them bears concerning them. They see the witness which he who formed them. They understand the rest which they now enjoy, being gathered into their chambers and guarded by angels in profound quiet, and the glory which awaits them in the last days. The fifth order, they rejoice that they now escaped what is corruptible and shall inherit what is to come. And besides, they see the straits and toil from which they have been delivered, and the spacious liberty which they are to receive and enjoy in immortality. The sixth order, when it is shown to them how their face is to shine like the sun, how they are to be made like the light of the stars, being incorruptible from then on. The seventh order, which is greater than all that has been mentioned, because they shall rejoice with boldness, and we shall be confident without confusion, and shall be glad without fear. For they hasten to behold the face of him whom they served in life, and from whom they are to receive the reward when they glorified. This is the order of souls of the righteous, as henceforth is announced, and the aforesaid are the ways of the torment which those who would not give heed shall suffer hereafter. Okay, you know what, I think this is gonna be my last video. I'm just fucking too tired, man. Shit, I gotta toil and burden. I don't have time for this, or the mental capacity anymore. But let's start with the seventh order, which is the greater. Right, they shall rejoice with boldness, shall be confident without confusion, because without confusion, and shall be glad without fear, for they hasten to behold the face of him whom they serve in life, and from whom they are to receive their reward when glorified. So, I think definitely in this one, he's talking about the same thing that's talked about over and over in the Book of Everything, and that's sight, right? This is all about trying to see properly. You know, I think at times in the Torah it says that God's like saying, "Who are you to judge me?" I think some of these thoughts and ideas of these Torah writers would be shocking to pious people. But they have a humility to search out the true God, rather than a God presented to them by a man who knows nothing of God. Right? Like the Puritans. The goddamn Puritans. You know, and there's probably a lot of amazing Puritans out there. It's about the individual. And I think that's what these Torah writers say too. Because I think that's the thing about that whole Hades thing. You know, it's like not everybody who behaves badly has a bad heart, right? Because there are many people on the lower orders who are prideful. They don't see properly. But they still have loving hearts, right? Like Adam would be a prideful man, because he's not seeing properly. He's not living he's not living the ways of paradise. La la la. All right, what are we talking about? Let's Oh yeah, the orders. Well, let's go to the seventh way of the wicked. Let's see. Which is worse than all the ways that have been mentioned, because they shall utterly waste away in confusion, right? And consumed with shame. And seeing. See? So boom. You have this correlation. And I wonder if That correlation is going to continue. Let's see. So the sixth order, when it is shown to them how their face is to shine like the sun, and how they are to be made like the light of stars, being incorruptible from then on. So I think this is just this whole Mosaic idea of embracing your innocence. And again, the ways of control and tyranny can be just all this guilt and false shame. Now let's go up to. They shall see how some of them will pass over into torment. La la. Well, I mean, if these are internal torments, then that's shame, right? I guess. Although we don't want to stretch things, just to make it all neat and orderly. Fifth order, they rejoice that they have now escaped what is corruptible, and shall inherit what is to come. And besides, they see the straits and toil from which they have been delivered, and the spacious liberty which they are to receive and enjoy in immortality. So I think, I think this is just about being holy, this line. Instead of only working all day and work and rest, that's all. Work, rest, work, work hard, party hard, right? That's the trickery of bad Mesopotamian shamans, right? But yeah, no, that's totally what this guy. Again, this is science. This is sociology right here. He's talking about a different way of living. And immortality here is again just linked to a more whole life rather than an immortality of whatever. And that's another thing that I was trying to say earlier. I think about the saved, right? The saved refer to those after the time of righteousness that this guy's prophesying. While those who were not saved are all those before the time, right? So saved here refers to the people who are now living a better life, while the unsaved are all of his people of his time. Because they've got a toil and burden. And so this saved thing in this passage doesn't have anything to do with theological thoughts on salvation. Right? It has nothing to do with it. The question is a prophetic question. Like, he's asking about the future. He's like, hey, God, hey, what's going to happen in the future, man? Like, that's exactly what's going down. And that was the answer, right? But yeah, no, let's. You know what? I think I'm done. I'm tired. Yeah, no, this has been fun though. And yeah, if people want me to finish this, then like, subscribe, comment, or send money. I don't even have a Patreon account, but do whatever. I don't know.